What's up, folks? And I'm going to be talking about males and females in this one, man. Why? Because I've had in the past a guy comment or ask the question, you know, hey, man, are you guys going over to these different countries and places because you can't compete? And then recently I got a question from a female that actually said, believe it or not, that don't get offended. I actually like your channel. Because, I give warnings here sometimes, but the negative consequences of different things in different places. Well, her statement was, hey, I don't get it. Why is it men are going there? Is it because it's just, quote unquote, the word she used, cheaper? She said, is it because it's cheaper? You can get all of those things right here in the United States. And I'll be real with you guys, man, and then we're going to get into it. The truth is, the real reason why all of this stuff is happening, why people are going to other countries, or why men are seeking certain kind of women, is very simple, man. And it's as simple as this. She's just so easy that you'll go all the way. That's the answer. She's just so easy that you'll go all the way. And let's get into what I mean by it. But before I do, Rich's Method, back at it again. Don't forget, subscribe, click the bell notification, hit notify all. Make sure you drop your comments. Make sure you hit that like button right now before we get started. Absolutely go ahead and share the videos on your Facebook and your Instagram. For my travelers, I highly recommend that you get the ebook and audiobooks on travel, safety, and dating. And for those who want to live abroad, get the cheat sheet to financial freedom and the good life, how to live or slow travel abroad. Available for instant download at payhip.com/richesmethod. All the links are also in the description below. So let's go. Now I could already see some of you, man. You're triggered. You guys either trigger for the best or trigger for the worst. Both male and females. Let's be real. You guys hear me say what I said, and right now this dude's like, word? Man, I'm about to fly out there right now. Man, he said that it's because they're all easy. They go all the way. And then there's a bunch of dudes like, yeah, see, I was right, man. Them dudes just want everything easy. It's because they can't compete. So they feel like, yeah, that's the only type of women they could get. Them women are easy. I could just go do whatever I want. And that's what they want. I know them dudes are suckers and losers, man. Didn't some dude already got kicked out of Brazil for saying something similar, and the feminists had to boot him out of there? I got news for you, man. All y'all who triggered and y'all already up in the comment, bam, 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 bam. Let me tell them what I think. Yeah, or nah, bro, or yeah, da, 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 da. But to curse out the passport bros, yeah, I knew he was one of them passport bros. Oh, they all hate black women, all the different triggered stuff. And now you got the women in the comment section. Yeah, man, see, it's because them women ain't got no independence. They all broke, which, by the way, is what triggered me with the comment that girl made. And how I responded was like, listen, man, do you think this is a representation of all the women in the entire country or in many other countries? Because you look at a few videos, they got a little bit of warning that I do, that means that I'm down with that kind of statement. And I got some good news. By the time I'm done at the end of this, I have some advice that should help both people. If there's something that triggers you enough for you to have that much emotion about it, it's probably going to be a little bit more soothing and beneficial to just listen before you jump to conclusions and before you do what the West is very good at doing, pitting people against each other and putting people into a box. You're already triggered just by my statement in the beginning and a title that you read that made you click on it. I'm just saying. So, fellas and ladies, I think I could speak for most men. I'm a man. And the one thing throughout my 40-something years of life, I'm in my early 40s, right? that I have always heard, if I was to summarize it from men older and younger, is men want peace. Men want their house to be a home, a sanctuary from that world when they go out there and they got to deal with everything that comes with life. That's what we want. We want peace. We want a woman who can make our house a home. A home is a sanctuary, a place of safety, joy, peace, and being at ease. Listen to what I'm saying clearly. At ease. Think about what I said before. A man is seeking many of these women of a certain type, and now they possibly got to go to other countries to get the majority of that mentality because they want their house to be a home, a place of ease. This is why I said, at the end of the day, a man will go all the way with these women because they're easy. Now, a lot of you would have jumped to the conclusion of the other kind of easy, but I'm talking about easy in this kind of respect and manner. And a matter of fact, to truly break it down in a proper way, I actually got to go into a little bit of background about my history and most of the men history that I meet when I'm traveling. So, in 2020, I left the United States. Since that time, I have not stepped foot on the United States soil. Now, a lot of you might say, okay, he left for the typical reasons that I watch and I see on TikTok and all that. But let me tell you the reason why I had left. I was already working from home. I was out of a 13-year on and off relationship with an American woman and a black woman at that. But I'll go beyond that a little bit more back into my past. So, I'm the product of immigration to the United States. As a teenager, I was taken to the United States by my parents. My mother and father came from South America, decided to make a new life in the United States. By the time I was 15 years old, I had my first job working with my dad. By the age of 16 years old, I had graduated from high school. I turned 17 in college. By the time I was 18 years old, I was in college working at a pharmacy. And then I left that pharmacy, started working for Tandy Corporation, which used to be Radio Shack back in the day. By the age of 19, I was in college and the United States Army. By the time I was 24, I had bought my first condo. And by 25, I had had that condo and my first kid by a black woman. In between that time, the only time I had been with a white woman was once in the military, nothing serious. That was just during training time. And anybody who ever been in the military, you already know what that's like. Everybody's having fun, right? My preference had always been and always was black women. Whether they were Caribbean-based, born in America, it didn't matter. But what also happened during that period of time is I moved from a huge city of New York, from the north in America to the south in Florida. And that was the first time I saw a shift. First things first, the military. The military shoves you into an environment where everybody's from everywhere, all walks of life, all races, creed, and sexes, right? And you start to automatically notice the difference in cultures between people who are from big cities, smaller cities, the South in America, the Midwest in America, the East Coast in America, the West Coast in America. And it doesn't take very long to realize that certain people seem to have a certain type of temperament. You would notice people from Philly or Los Angeles, California, in certain parts, aggressive, even the females. You would notice that people from the southern areas or the quieter areas or the Ohios of the world, the Arkansas of the world, the smaller towns, no matter where they were, They had less of that aggressiveness to deal with to survive, and they were less aggressive and more easygoing. And that meant that the females were that way, and the males also tended to be that way. So if you are a quote unquote American blue blooded straight male, guess what you realized and you started to levitate towards? Peace. You started to mess with the females who had the mentality and the capacity to be peaceful, easygoing, easy to get along with individuals. For you females who are wondering, I am clearly saying to you that most men of sound judgment and good character and who are not mentally unstable by being accustomed to so much drama will always be attracted to and pulled towards females who are easygoing. And for you fellas who wonder why I told this story, the ones who say that these dudes that can't compete, I told the story about my jobs, my accomplishments, and at what ages to show you guys that nah, bro, ain't about competing. As a matter of fact, in most places in the world, the women outnumber the men. I've never felt the need to compete or take or have someone else's girls. Never been me. If you got a woman, if that woman is not single, I already write her off my mentality. Plain and simple. Oh, especially if she's married. I had married women many times that lied to me about them not being married, and I was that side guy without knowing it. I've never had a problem getting females, man. And honestly, man, if you're a male that feel like the other guys are your competition, shoot, you should be happy, man. Less people competing in that small pond for you, right? You ain't got to worry about even less dudes. More women for you, bro. That's the other stereotype. So I'm eliminating these stereotypes. The broken dusty dude, the dude who can't compete, the guys who don't get girls. When most of the time, most of these older guys who are in these countries were married and divorced more than once. And the financial one, the same broken dusty. You guys who think that, oh man, these guys, of course, they're using the currency conversion. We are, but there's not the primary reason. It's because we're freaking smart financially. And by the way, you fellas who think to yourself, man, how broke can these guys be if they can afford to live outside the country or move to another country when I can't? You're thinking smart, you're thinking clear. Go ahead and get that cheat sheet to financial freedom. You'll see how I did it. You same fellas and you same ladies who are accusing these guys of being broke, can you afford to fly every other month to another country? Can you afford to fly out to your country right now? Do you have the kind of job ability or the ownership of your own business to be able to go and live out of the country for a month, 6 months? Does your job give you freedom? Can you afford all your bills back home, plus buy a plane ticket, a hotel, pay for meals at an airport? Many of you are sitting at home, you don't have passports, you never traveled, and some of you might not be able to afford to travel. Listen, I'm not knocking you for that. I'm saying something very simple to you. If you are where you are and you want to stay there, stay there. Are there good women in the United States? Are there good men in the United States? Absolutely. Can you find the person that brings you the kind of peace if you're a balanced individual and not just addicted to the dramas? Can you find that peaceful person? That is the question. Not just the United States, but Canada, England, most of the West, that have a certain type of culture and mentality where women now are clearly telling men, I can do X, Y, Z, A, B, C for myself. What do I need you for? Now listen, I'm of the mentality where I kind of agree with that. I don't want a woman who needs me. I want a woman who wants me. And that's where I then disconnect from all this BS. Because even if you don't need your men in the United States, ladies, a lot of you are saying you don't even want them. You just want their money. And when you do want them, you want them to be superhuman. You must be overweight, short, basic, a normal woman, but you want the best of all the men. You want the man to be 6'2", totally in shape and fit, loved by all his co-workers, rich, famous possibly, good dancer, the everything, and he must be faithful for you. No other woman, when they look at him, he should look at them. No other woman should ever want him. He should never want any other woman too. He must be your Superman. Matter of fact, you then potentially don't want to bear kids naturally. You don't want to feed the child healthily using your natural body. You want to buy milk. You want to have the babysitter live in. You want it all. And you want to go out and do your career. You want him to have his career, but he must also come home and equally balance the kids while making millions of dollars, because somehow he's superhuman, and keep himself in shape and do it all. And let me tell you how I actually first left the United States. One, for about 10 years, I always had the desire to leave. See, I was born in another country. So it would be very striking to me the differences when I would go home or when I would go to other countries, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, the way of the attitude and the way the women there were. Me and my brother would actually end up talking about it. So when I first left, where I ended up staying outside the United States, is because I actually came to do some dental work. Came to the Dominican Republic. I'd already visited a lot of other countries. With the pandemic of 2019, all the other countries were closed. The Bahamas had just reclosed, and the Dominican Republic was the only one close to the United States that had actually reopened. As a matter of fact, I think at that point in the world, other than America, the Dominican Republic was the only country that was actually open, right? Now, in the past before that, I was in relationships. When me and my brother noticed that the women were different when we would go home or when we would go to other countries, absolutely. Matter of fact, most people who are immigrants, they got a run-in joke. And you guys can verify in the comments where we kind of say, you know what? If all else fails and I can't find a wifey type in America, you could always go back home and grab you a wifey type. What we always used to be afraid of, though, is when you bring that woman to the United States, she's going to change. That was the running joke. Now, with technology, with changes in the ability to work online or own your own businesses or do similar to this on YouTube, a lot of people got a lot more opportunities. And then the pandemic allowed for companies to be a little bit more free, no matter what age you are. Now, let's talk about this, the type of guys that I would see that actually would be abroad. It would actually be guys like me, guys who worked themselves, planned, and had a little bit more freedom. I held a license in financial services. I've worked with some of the top Fortune 50 companies, except for one company ever that I've worked with that was big, that was not in the top Fortune 100 and Fortune 50 companies, right? But needless to say, military service. The majority of guys who you meet out of the country had prior military service, current military service, or older gentlemen. They've spent time and years working, saving, owning businesses, and they're more financially set. The other set of those guys are retirees, 65 and older, who have prior service, some of them don't have prior service in the military. But now with the change in technology and times, you're finding a lot of younger people, like myself, who are able to design a life outside these countries. Now, that meant that when I left for my dental work, and I saw things similar to where I was living in a place with 2 pools, 2 gyms, on my mountain bicycle, should I say, I was within a 10-minute ride away from the beach, if not less, in Florida. Prior to that, I had lived also not too far from the beach. So when I see I could replicate my lifestyle, had nothing to do with the women at the time. And I'll tell you guys a little bit about my dating experiences after I was no longer engaged. However, I realized I could replicate that lifestyle. Sunny weather, nice beaches, beautiful people, and most importantly, a very light environment and attitude of friendly people. And for less money, it was a no-brainer being able to also generate my money online, as well as some of the other investments and trading and different things that I do. So let me tell you something, people. The women, the attitudes was just the icing on the cake. And most of the guys, because I am actually boots on the ground, that I talk to and I've met or I know of, that is the majority of the men. It's a very tiny percentage, mostly new and recent, who is discovered through the pandemic, that you know what? it is easier to speak to these other women in certain places with a certain mentality who, by the way, what they do is not because they're not career type women or want a career or want to do nothing or have nothing. I chose this environment that you're looking at right now in this video to prove to you guys that not everywhere all the women are broken in need, right? The difference is these women who have their stuff going on in these countries, it's about where they prioritize their career. You see, what's happening in the West is you women have told each other that to be happy you needed certain things, and then you tell yourself that's what the men want because that's what you want in the men. And you guys didn't ask us. You didn't ask us what we want. You didn't ask us what we value mostly. You didn't ask us along the line of which should be higher and lower in that hierarchy of needs we prefer. So now a lot of you guys are finding yourself not being able, by the way, to work as a team. You can't work with your men. And you can't work with other women. So now not only are you dragging the men through the dirt, and a man is a fisher, so he's going to go where the best fish can be found. And by the way, you worried about losing a man if he's not the best of men anyway, right? So you guys automatically know you're lying when it comes to that. Clearly, the guys ain't broken all dusty, or else you won't care where the hell we are. All right? But I'll say this again. You guys then focus on things that you focus in a man, and then you think and try to tell us that that's what we should want in women. You telling us that we should want a woman who is career-oriented and then family-oriented, or being able to do it all. And then you want us to be that way. You want us to be the men who go out there, focus on career, make crazy amounts of money, be completely fit, be totally tall, be handsome, be energetic, be compassionate, be romantic, all at the same time, right? We'll do everything. And come home and equally bear and take care of the family and the kids just like you. And that you should be able to go there and also do that. Did we ask you for that? Did you ask us if that's what we want and what we're most attracted to? Well, guess what we are finding? We're finding that the women out there who are professional women, they feel like they're not successful if they also don't have that husband and they also don't have those kids. And you know what they put before that career? Those are the things. Whereas you guys are putting the career and the money on top first. See, those women have their priorities more straightened out. Yeah, they don't want broke. Yeah, they don't want dusty. There's nothing wrong with that. Who wants a loser? I don't want a woman that's a loser. But those women know the priority. They know that when they're around their family, they want friendliness. They want a guy they can get along with and gets along with them. They're easygoing. And then they put the career just below that because they know they need men. And they want men. They want fathers. They don't want divorces. They're shunned by their community and society. They're not doing divorce parties. You understand me? They're not being told by the other women, oh girl, you don't need him. You got your career. You could buy anything that you want. And women want to buy anything they want to. But what's most important to them is that they're able to complete that family unit. And that they're able to be agreeable, not only with the other women in their society, but also the men in their society. They don't view the women as threats. They don't view the women as competitors necessarily, although they sure as hell make sure that they can show up and show out and that they look nice and feminine and they act feminine and they smell good and they try to keep themselves in the best shape as possible, and they know the importance of trying to feed their kids themselves healthily as well as their husband who got to go out there and work. And then they go out there and work also. They want balance. They want peace. And then ultimately, a man is going to go where the biggest fish is when he is out there fishing. And he knows there's plenty of fish in the world. All right, let me quickly talk about the differences I noticed about dating abroad versus dating in America, right? First thing is age differences. And second is all the isms. America got a lot of isms. Feminism, ageism, and the list goes on. However, let's say when you first get single, right? A lot of the first questions you get from a foreign woman would be, hey, how you doing today? And did you eat today? How was your day? How you doing, Poppy? These kind of things. But in America, man, Generally, the first time you start a conversation with a woman, it's just typical that we'll ask what the person does. The man asks the woman the same thing, the woman asks the man the same thing. What do you do? Like your representation of who you are is part of your career. Like you have no other personality other than what you do for a living. Now, you guys, if you've never dated anybody else outside, you just think that's normal. You don't understand how freeing it is when you realize. And I remember I used to think that it was very strange. The girls would keep asking me, like, if I ate today. I'm like, of course I ate today. Come on, man. I'd be dead if I didn't eat. I'll be hungry. I'll be starving. But that's just like a normal greeting in many of these countries, to check on someone's well-being, all right? Whereas over there, it's kind of like, what do you do? What did you do today for work? These kind of things. The other thing is age gap relationships. People are so genuinely interested in who you are, they don't think about the isms, your age and all these things. Ageism first. That comes like secondary or tertiary. People just go on the energy and the flow of who that person is and if they're a little bit attracted to that person. And let me talk about the games. God damn it. Two people could be single, clearly on dating websites, clearly want to meet each other, and it comes down to all these games about where we gonna meet, where you taking me, are you taking me to this nice restaurant versus another, and all kind of crap, right? Or I'm only text back after such and such time because I don't want to look too desperate. I don't want to look like she don't want to look like the pick me, please. And a lot of times the women in those countries in the West expect you to be the mop-up man, right? After they already made all the mistakes in their life, and then they still want to play games with you. And then you look at these family-oriented countries where people genuinely looking for somebody and looking for family and looking for these things first. They want to actually get to know you. They're okay with just sitting on a balcony somewhere, grabbing a beer and having 2 hours of conversation. They're okay with, you know what, let's meet in public at a park. That's no big deal. Let's meet at a car model, grab a beer and chit chat. Just none of the, or not a lot of the BS, surface crap, and pretentiousness, right? No, you might say, well, it's because they ain't got a lot of money. Well, come on, man. They already know they're dating a foreigner, right? Yes, can you get gold diggers all over the world? Absolutely. Just because they exist in America, they exist everywhere else. Can you get the girls who are about that cash as an exchange? Yeah, it's the oldest profession in the world. They ain't gonna go nowhere, right? I'm talking here about genuine, regular relationships with regular people and the ability for someone being serious, looking for something, and just experiencing life. All right? It ain't gonna come down to if this person is cheap, not cheap. Oh, these guys must be going to these places because it's just cheaper overall for them to mess with the women there. Come on, people. You got legal systems in America that's designed to just have the state keep collecting payments for somebody if y'all want to be supported by not making your relationship work. You already got a system that's pushing people to be comfortable in the wrong direction that destroys families. Whereas you got these other countries that their culture and their laws and their everything is kind of pushing people to make the society work and to make families work. What's negative about that? What's negative about a woman saying, you know what, my career is nice and important, but I prefer also that what's more important than that is the family unit, friends, extended networks of friends and families and cousins and all these things. It's what it used to be. You even got now where churches are preaching prosperity and encouraging people to be single and not change their mentality, telling them there's nothing wrong with them, and they're not teaching to the tenets of the Bible that would make man and woman stay together or unite with each other in a proper way. So we're dealing with a lot of issues here, people. Anyway, let me show you this area and let me show you some possibilities for those of you who keep thinking everything gotta be these people are in need, and they need me, or this is why these guys are there, or the women are using the men only and all this crap. All right, so for you guys, man, who always wonder, like,
Go to payhip.com/riches method.
Classy, normal women. The Dominicans that got some money. They don't need everything from you. Not looking to you as a foreigner because they don't give a damn about that. And if you happen to get a connection, you get a connection. This would be the kind of area. So I'm in Piantini area, not too far from Agoraland Mall and Blue Mall. Sun's about to go down. I'm about to try to go over to El Conde and Zona Colonial, waiting for my Uber. But to answer you guys' questions, what you would do is you would Google this kind of area and you would go to the restaurants here, the lounges here. You would rent over here. See right there actually. There is a unit. Boom. Right there. See that? Or one of these high rises. And what you would do is you would spend your time in these kind of neighborhoods. Notice I didn't say only this neighborhood, these kind of neighborhoods, right? We got the young professionals, business owners, people who just got really good jobs in general, dentists, doctors, you know, whatever other profession you could think of, small business owners. Wives, husbands, kids. A lot of families live in these kind of neighborhoods too. Some foreigners live over here also, and a lot of Dominicans that return here. I was just in the Goreland Mall. I'm in the Jumbo, which is the grocery store. And a lady in front of me just started speaking Spanish. She's trying to tell me really hold her spot, but I'm like, she's talking really fast. I try to pretend I didn't understand her. So I said, I speak English. Lady's like, oh, okay, hey, listen, can you hold my spot for me? I'm just gonna go run over there and get some ice real quick and come back. I'm like, damn, all right, yeah, I'll hold it for you. I was like, oh, you speak English. I feel like I'm in Miami, I'm in South Beach right now, or New York.
Download Traveler's Cheat Sheet. And if you'd like to live abroad, I've also got a book for that. And I'll check you guys on the next one.